What's up, YouTube? It's Treezy back at it again. Future just dropped this album, The Real Me. Gave it a listen. A lot of good songs on there, and I really like the production on there. So today I'm gonna show y'all how I would make a beat in the style of that album, kind of the dark side of the album, the 808 Mafia trap kind of sound. So let's get to it. So for this beat, we at 120 BPM, we in the key of D sharp minor. First thing I did was find this sound out of Xenology, the Kenner pad and the Trapback Xenology Bank by Shark. Just wanted a simple dark synth kind of sound, so this is what we got for that. See, real simple, just the same thing all throughout, real dark, kind of like ambient, eerie kind of sound. Then after that, I found another sound of Xenology. I just kept layering on top of that and found another sound, the BG Gospel in the same pack. That's what that sounds like. I like the ARP sound of it, or like the pulsating kind of thing. It gave it another bounce. Yeah, I added these two notes on top to kind of differentiate it from the last sound. And that's what those two layers sound like together. And after that, I added another layer. This one is the Devious PD and Scattered Pack Bank by Shark. Just another layer, kind of same thing. Here's what that sounds like. And then you can skip down here to this last layer I did. There's another kind of like art, pulsating kind of situation. This is, that preset in the Unclogged Noise Bank by Shark. There's another thing to kind of give the melody its own bounce. Before we even put drums on it, it kind of gives it another bounce for itself. So here's what all of those layers sound like together. So then the next thing I added is I kind of made my own ARP here. In Xenology, I just took a simple lead. This is the Mega Man Plug lead from the Glow Arcade Bank. So I'm gonna show you how I made this, and then I'm gonna play it. So basically what I did is I just kind of went up the scale like this. And then what you can do is you can highlight everything, and then this little arrow will pop up, and then you can drag it and it'll like stretch it. So that's what I did for all that. And then same thing right here as well. I just did it like this. Highlighted it, dragged it over like that. Once you do all of that, your melody or your ARP is gonna sound like this. And then here's what it sounds like in context with the rest of the melody that we went over so far. It's kind of really like in the background, nothing too crazy. Then the next thing I added after that is this synth right here. This is the Creeper Man from Uncle Walk. I just wanted something to have like its own cutty melody in here as well. Kind of just one of the leads in here. That's what that sounds like. Give it its own little rhythm, and I'm using these tension notes right here, and then just the fifth of the scale. Kind of just makes it sound dark, and it just, like I said, gave it its own rhythm. And then I added one more lead in there as well. This is just kind of like your simple sine lead that you hear in most trap stuff. Here's what that sounds like. And then I kind of have those two leads alternating each other throughout the beat, not alternating the whole way, but just one playing then going into the next one. I rarely have them playing at the same time, except for at the end right here. So here's what that sounds like. And then as far as mixing goes for pretty much all these sounds, it's just a lot of reverb, delay, EQ. It's really simple. Added a little bit of Portal on this first sound, but it doesn't really change it too much. This is it with the Portal. This is without the Portal. Just kind of gave it a different sound, different effect, but nothing too crazy. I really didn't have to mix it too much just because of the sound selection. I mean, that's kind of like the key to making any kind of beats, really, just having good sound selection, so you don't have to do too much with the effects. So like I said, just EQ, reverb, delay, and then just leveling with all these sounds, making sure that nothing's fighting with anything, things like that. All right, so now we can get into the drums. The first thing I added was this hi-hat right here. Looks pretty crazy, but at its core, it's just a simple two-step hi-hat with some rolls in it, and then add like this little triplet roll right here in some spots too. So here's what that sounds like. After that, just lay down a clap, and here's a simple 3 of every beat. Here's what that sounds like. Then I added this open hat right here. Just added it at the beginning of the first measure and the fifth measure. Then added these extra ones in here just to kind of get a little bit more bounce. Here's what that sounds like. Then I added another open hat to kind of play off of that one. Just kind of little accents, a lot quieter than the other ones. So here's what that sounds like. Just another like kind of accent little thing, make it sound really different. And after that, I added a counter snare to kind of fill up some more of the empty space in the drums. I mean, just give it another swing. Here's what that sounds like. So now we get to the 808. Kind of left it on the root note most of the time. Kind of deviated it here and there just to give it, again, some more bounce. But here's what that sounds like. And then I also layered it with a kick just to give it more punch. It's hitting at all the same places pretty much. Just get a little bit more punch. And also have these sections right here that kind of have like the 808 and the snare rolls to kind of transition into the next part of the song. Here's what that sounds like. So I did make these little rolls right here. I clicked this little magnet, went to 1/3 step. And you see it kind of breaks the grid up into thirds. So I clicked all of these in, had these little rolls right here. Then I just played around until I had something I like. So came up with this. Then I just took the kick, got the same rhythm going on with it. Then the snare doing the same pattern with this little roll to kind of lead up to it. And then all together, you come up with this. For mixing on the drums, the main thing I did was actually I turned down the 808 since I had the kick as well. I made the 808 quieter than the kick, just to make it punch more and make sure that they don't clash together. And then just lowered everything, make sure everything sounded good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We can give it one final listen through and we can get up out of here. That's it for me, man. Hope y'all enjoyed. Got any suggestions for any kind of beats that you want to see me make or want to try to make, just leave those down in the comments below. I'll look through those. Hope the rest of y'all day goes good, all that good stuff, and we'll see you in the next one.